so nice to see everybody tonight. Thank you once again for coming. This is the official start of our program right now. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Karen Dion. I'm the author of two novels of psychological suspense that are set in Michigan's Upper Peninsula wilderness, The Marsh King's Daughter and The Wicked Sister. The Marsh King's Daughter was my big breakout book, and so it got all kinds of attention. It's been published in 28 languages. And it was named one of the best books of 2017 by iBooks and many other reviewers. It won the Barry and the Crimson Scribe Awards. And as most of you probably know, last year it was released as a major motion picture starring Daisy Ridley and Ben Mendelsohn. So more success than anybody deserves to have, but that's the way it worked out for me so far. So we'll start with Elise. Hi, Elise. Elise is a native New Englander. She spent several years writing for television and online news outlets before she got an MA and started teaching high school literature and history. Her debut novel, The Other Alka, was a nominee for the 2017 Washington Book Award. Three more novels, Learning to See, Fast Girls, and Angels of the Pacific, followed, all centered on the extraordinary lives of overlooked historical women. That just sounds so awesome. Yeah. So her next book, The Library of Lost Dollhouses, you got it there, right? It released on April 1st, so it's a brand new book. And tell us about the dollhouse behind you.
So this dollhouse behind me is my great grandmother's dollhouse. We believe it was built in about 1895 and it's been passed down through the generations. So with my girls, it was the fifth generation to play with it. And it served as major inspiration for my book. And I kind of went all like Daniel Day-Lewis method actor with this one and just decided the best way to understand the world of miniaturists and dollhouse makers is to do it myself.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I love it. I'm trying to think of what's some hobby that I would like to get so involved in that I can write a book about, right?
That is the key I've discovered. It's like writing about places you want to go to, foods you want to eat, and things you want to do.
That's very awesome. Thanks. Yeah. We also have Alka Joshi. She's the internationally best-selling author of the Jaipur trilogy. You all have heard of this: The Henna Artist, The Secret Keeper of Jaipur, and The Perfumist of Paris. And the reception for The Henna Artist was just amazing. Immediately became a New York Times bestseller. It was a Reese Witherspoon Book Club pick, an LA Times bestseller, a Toronto Star bestseller, an indie bookstores bestseller. Well, there's a very long list in the intro here. Forbes selected Alka, though I think this is cool, as one of 50 women over 50 who are shattering age and gender norms. Hey, how about that, right? So Alka was born in India. She came to the US with her family at the age of 9. She has a BA from Stanford and an MFA from the California College of Arts. Now, her fourth release, 6 Days in Bombay, that's coming in about 2 weeks, right?
That's right.
On April
Tax
5th.
day, on tax day. So if you have any money left over, this is what you want to spend it on.
Oh, that's perfect. Definitely. Better pre-order before you turn in your taxes, right? Yeah. So we'll learn more about this book when we're in the breakout rooms. Our next author is Kelly Mustian. Kelly Mustian is the USA Today bestselling author of The Girls in the Stilt House and her new novel, you can hold it up, The River Knows Your Name. This published on April 1st. So it's like a 1 week old book baby, right? And finally, we have Nita Prose. Nita, we're so happy to have you here. Nita is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of The Maid, which has sold more than 2 million copies worldwide. She's author of The Mystery Guest, The Mystery Guest, The Mistletoe Mystery, and The Maid's Secret, which is her newest book. And this published, oops, I erased the date. Was it April 1 for you too?
It's actually next Tuesday, April
Next
8th.
to
So,
April
yeah,
8th.
just
Oh,
about to be on the road with you, Kelly.
Yeah, good luck.
That's fantastic. So, you all, The Maid won so many awards. It won the Fingerprint Award for Debut Novel of the Year, the Anthony Award for Best First Novel, Barry Award for Best First Novel, and it was a finalist, an Edgar Award finalist for Best Novel. So, what a splashy start all of you guys had with your first novels. I am so impressed. We say 20 questions. It's really 12 because, 20 would take all night, but we're going to have fun. We had these official backroom cards with questions on the other side. And I'm going to ask the questions in the order of that I see you on the screen. So I'm going to start with Alka. What book made you want to be a writer?
I think it was The Color Purple. And that was, years and years and years ago. And it made such an impression on me on how you could use dialect, how you could use place, and how you could really delineate characters coming from very different backgrounds and really, make them so prominent on the page. I think as soon as I finished the book, I started reading it all over again because it was just looming so large in my mind. And then, of course, when they made the movie, The Color Purple, that was even, fabulous to see how they transitioned from a book onto the screen. So for me, I think The Color Purple was it.
Yeah, awesome pick. Yes, you can't do better than that. Elise, is your desk messy or tidy?
Oh, well, I'm very glad that the camera's on my dollhouse and not my mess right now.
Yeah.
A week after book launch, I just keep throwing stuff on it. I'll get to it at some point.
Yeah. Like research materials or just
I
little
mean,
doodads.
I even have like a little miniature here of that my mother-in-law just gave me when I was over on Bainbridge Island the other day. So yeah, several pairs of glasses, lots of notes, some mail, all kinds of junk.
All right. I, Mine too. So I like hearing that your desk is
Just be
messy.
better about that.
Yeah. All right, Nita, where do you like to write?
Right here. So I call this my writing cave. It's not a very big room, but I like to write right here. And when I'm really like in it, when I really am in that flow state, I have this really ugly, old, disgusting sweater that's like a hoodie that I pull over my head and I tie it really tight so almost my eyes are showing and nothing else. And somehow doing that like helps me focus and stay there for longer than I would without the sweater. It is so weird. I cannot explain it, but I love that disgusting old sweater.
I love that too. That sounds way fun. All right, thank
Oh,
you.
and by the way, I am in my pajamas. You can't see my pajama bottoms, but I only write in my pajamas.
All right. So now, any aspiring writers in the audience, you understand you have to wear disgusting clothes then, apparently, if you're going to be a good writer, successful writer. So Kelly, do you have any hidden talents?
Ooh, okay. That's a good question. If you see me wiggling around, it's because this hotel situation is so weird. I'm like a little tiny thing in this giant chair, and my feet don't touch the floor. And I have this table in my knee. So excuse all the wiggling around. But yeah, I have a talent. I can be across the room and just toss anything that I want to throw away across the room, and it goes exactly in the trash can. The challenge is a Kleenex because it kind of floats on the air. But even I'm not thinking about it. I just sling it across the room. When I'm in a hotel and I have a little makeup, a little cloth kind of thing to disposable thing to wash my face with, I will pull the shower curtain back, toss that thing all the way across the bathroom. It goes exactly. It's kind of phenomenal. And I was horrible at basketball in high school. So go figure. But
Go
yeah,
figure.
that's
Yeah,
the best I can come up with.
that's a very unique talent. So, Alka, I'll start with you. What book are you recommending tonight?
Yes, I am recommending Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. It's just a little baby of a book. It's not that long, but it's so impactful. as soon as, I did the same thing with the color purple that I did with this one. As soon as I was finished with small things like these, I started all over again with the beginning. I wanted to learn how Claire Keegan was able to make such spare prose so powerful. And it is all about a gentleman who is trying to figure out what the right thing to do is. And the right thing to do isn't always what you have been brought up to think is the right thing to do. Sometimes we have to make up our own minds about what is the right thing. And it comes from within. And it's almost as if Claire Keegan is trying to tell us that what is the right thing, we have always known all along. It's inside of us.
Elise, what book are you recommending?
That's great to hear because I had read her last one, and it's again one of these small, thin books, but just packed such a punch. So this is also bumping the new one right up my list. I am recommending Pony Confidential, and I listened to it on audiobook. Buckle up. This is a really fun adventure. It's told in alternating viewpoints between a pony and his favorite owner, who was, yes, exactly, Hank. Pony Confidential is just a dream. I laughed out loud listening to it. This pony, his favorite owner, as who she was a girl when she owned him, she's thrown in jail. And and the pony, I don't remember how the pony learns of it, but the pony is distressed and goes on the hunt to track down the owner. And the pony makes several cross-country trips. I mean, this pony is resourceful. The pony is super sassy. And it's just, and I'm glad to see, Hank, you mentioned it. It's based from the Odyssey. It's very clever, so original. Highly recommend. And the audiobook is just fantastic. Again, the pony I could listen to all day, especially. Really.
All right, sold.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
you need. Pony that's on a mission.
Thank you, thank you. Nita, what are you recommending?
I am recommending this book right here. I'm sure there's many readers out there who've read Tana French before. I don't know if you've read The Hunter or The Searcher. They are books that you can read out of order or in order, but they are related. And this novel takes place in a little Irish town. And an American man who's an ex-cop from Chicago goes and he settles in this very secretive community where everybody is up in each other's business, but they don't say much about it. But there are deep, deep secrets. And so he establishes himself there. He just wants to get away from his life as a cop and, that former very stressful lifestyle. But guess what? That's not what happens. He meets a woman, Lena, who, surprisingly he falls for. And he also, very importantly, meets a young teenager, Trey, who is a skulky sort of, I don't know, stray cat, uh, and who brings a kind of mystery to this world. And they forge this relationship, which is just absolutely beguiling. Every time these two characters have a scene together, you are just riveted. And it feels like that Technicolor moment when the book disappears and you don't know you're reading anymore and you're just in it, seeing it live. And there's a tension and a beauty and an intimacy too in this strange relationship between these two strangers who, as it turns out, despite their age differences, despite their cultural differences, turn out to have so much in common. So that's my little pitch for The Hunter.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Three out of three so far. Kelly, what book are you recommending?
Okay, I am recommending The Year of the Child by Niall Williams. Actually, this is the hotel Bible. I didn't have room in my suitcase for the book.
You're too clever.
Like Alka, like her choice, this is an Irish literary fiction novel. Niall Williams is his a previous book of his. I don't think it was his first one. Is This Is Happiness, and that is my favorite book right now of all time. Unlike some publishers, some of the things that happen with publishing here, the word quiet in Ireland is not a bad word with fiction. And much like Claire Keegan, Niall Williams writes these tender, beautiful stories that aren't full of all this, a ton of action happening, but there's this this thread of an absolutely stunning story. But the reason that I love him most of all is because his prose is just so beautiful. He writes the kind of sentences that you stop and you want to read again just because it's so profound or it's so beautiful.
Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed this taste of what a backroom event is like. The best part comes immediately after, when the audience is divided into 4 breakout rooms and the authors visit each room in turn. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because these relaxed face-to-face conversations between authors and readers are the hallmark of our backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded. What's said in the backroom stays in the backroom.